1, 2, 3, funk it.
Hi, I'm Maddie. Welcome to back to my channel, and for today's video I'm going to be doing a part 2 to my reviewing movies I've been watching in quarantine. If you haven't seen part 1, you can click the I to watch it. There are 16 movies in that video, and I will be reviewing 18 in this video. Just like in the last video, I'm going to be giving my rating out of 10 and a brief description so you can decide whether or not the movie is for you. Most of these are movies that were suggested to me. Towards the end we will get to some movies that were my selections, and I'll let you know when the transition occurs, so that way if you watch a movie and don't like it, if it was not my choice, then you can blame my friends. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. The first movie on my list, and these are in no particular order, is Dear John. I give Dear John a 5 out of 10 because honestly it was just really sad for most of the movie. This is about a young man who is in the military and he meets a lady and they like fall in love at the beach, and that part's like sweet but also the cheesy romance genre. And then he goes off to war and a whole like depressing series of events occur. I don't know, maybe my taste isn't sophisticated enough to like it, but I just found it to be too depressing. Second is 16 Candles, which I give an 8 out of 10. This is a pretty solid choice. It is kind of kicking it back to the sort of old school movies, I guess, kind of in the realm of Clueless, Legally Blonde, that genre. This is about a girl who is turning 16 and her family forgets about her birthday, and she has about the crappiest birthday you could imagine until the end of the day, and the end of the movie rather, I guess. But it was a good entertaining choice. Number 3 is The Hitch. I give The Hitch a 7 out of 10. It was decent, but again, it's a rom-com and I just mentally cannot like rom-coms for some reason. This is about a dating coach and sort of his endeavors in a city trying to get couples together, and the particular couple that they highlight is pretty funny, but he also has his love life troubles of his own, and it also details him having to deal with that. Number 4 is Set It Up, and this was an interesting choice. I give it a 6 out of 10. It was good, except again the ending cheesy, gross. This movie is about 2 office assistants for ESPN writers, and they try and get their writers together, but for like selfish reasons. It's not just like, oh, let's make them happy. And then at the end of the movie, rom-com, can see where this goes. Number 5 is About Time. I give it a 5 out of 10. Again, I just don't think that my taste is like sophisticated or mature enough to enjoy a film like this. This is about a young man who is having love troubles, and his father tells him that he can travel back in time. So he decides to use his gift of time travel to get a girl. Yeah, I don't know, it seems like there would be much better uses of the gift of time travel than getting a girlfriend or boyfriend, but whatever floats your boat, dude. The reason that I give this a 5 out of 10 is, again, it's just like sad and depressing, kind of along the lines of Dear John. Next is Good Boys. I give it a 5 out of 10 because while the movie was funny, I found it extremely unnecessarily raunchy in many areas, and also it was just extremely unrealistic that 6th graders would be going through these things and understand these things. So I feel like it would have been better if maybe the lead characters had been high school or college age, because then it would be much more realistic and it would just be funnier because you're like, oh, okay, this would actually happen. I don't know, maybe the writers thought that having them be 6th graders would make it more comical, but for me it kind of had the opposite effect. Next on the list is The Great Outdoors, which I give a 8 out of 10. This was a really funny movie. It's kind of like the camping version of Christmas Vacation. That's the way that my mom put it, and I definitely agree with that statement. I mean, it had me rolling throughout the whole thing. This movie is about a family that decides to have a good old-fashioned family vacation outside in the wilderness, and some unwanted family members show up Of course, they were not invited, but they decided to invite themselves, and a lot of crazy stuff happens, as you can imagine. The next one on the list is Dirty Dancing, which I give a 7 out of 10. I thought that it was a good movie, but I just got a little with it, I guess. Basically, this is about a girl whose family goes to stay at this resort, and there are dance lessons there, and there's this one girl who has to leave and can't dance, and she's like the main star. So this girl steps up and is like, hey, I'll learn how to dance. And she falls in love with the guy that teaches her how to dance. I feel like this is a very classic movie, so I don't really feel bad for spoiling that ending because you probably already knew that. Number 9 is Titanic, which I give an 8 out of 10. I thought that it was a pretty good movie, but it was just honestly too long. There were parts of it that were way too drawn out for my taste, and the ending is just kind of like, you see it coming, and I don't like the endings where it's just like you see it coming and it's just like, it's great, you know, like I don't vibe with that. And this is about the story of the Titanic, so I don't really feel like I need to further elaborate about the storyline. Next up is Good Burger. I give Good Burger a 3 out of 10. It was honestly terrible. I've just come to the conclusion that anything that Nickelodeon produces is actual garbage, and this was definitely no exception. Good Burger is about some competing fast food joints. So you have Good Burger and Mondo Burger. Good Burger was here first. Mondo Burger is supposed to be like the new, better burger. And whenever Mondo Burger opens, they are definitely kicking Good Burger's butt because they have bigger burgers. But it turns out they're using an illegal chemical, so Good Burger's like, we can't let them win. And the crazy counter guy, Ed, he's just a total goofball, has this special sauce that he is eating his lunch with, and several of his coworkers try it and are like, okay, this is actually good. So they put it on their burgers, and then they start competing and outdoing Mondo Burger, and there's a lot of other competitive factors, but it's just stupid. Next is Pitch Perfect, which I give a 6 out of 10. I'd heard people raving about Pitch Perfect, and when it got suggested to me, it's like, okay, I should probably see what all the hype is about. Honestly, I don't really get it. I thought it was boring again. It's about a cappella groups and their competitions, things like that. It's about singing. Bet you couldn't have guessed that. Number 12 is The Sound of Music, which I give a 5 out of 10. Again, I got bored with this one. I don't know, I've just been getting bored with a lot of the movies on this list, if you can't tell. The Sound of Music, to me, just seemed like a not good version of Mary Poppins. I don't know which one was made first, so I don't know which one's ripping off the other one, but either way, Mary Poppins is definitely way better.
Hello folks, I gave it a Google. Mary Poppins came out in 1964 and Sound of Music came out in 1965, so Sound of Music is ripping off Mary Poppins.
This is about a young woman who is not fitting into the nun life. I mean, I can imagine many people that would, but she's definitely not. So her mom ships her off to this family where she's to be their governess and take care of the kids. Same idea as Mary Poppins coming in to take care of the kids, and she tries to incorporate fun into their life because she sees that they are miserable because their dad is a total, the dad like obviously does not approve, but she's trying to convince him like, this is better, you need to be proud of them for this, and you need to stop being such a butt. I did not finish watching this movie. I will go ahead and confess I was too bored. Maiden Trip, and I give it a 7 out of 10. Maiden Trip is about a young girl from Holland. Her name is Laura Decker, and she wanted to be the youngest person to sail around the globe. She started this when she was 14, ended when she was 16, took her 2 years. She stopped along the way, and this is kind of like an extended vlog, I guess, because she's filming herself on the boat and sort of detailing her journeys. I thought it was pretty entertaining, however, it was not like a traditional movie. If you're in for something a little different, I would suggest it. Okay, now we're moving into my personal selections. Yes, all these movies are amazing. If you made it to this part, congratulations, you'll be rewarded because you're actually going to get good movie ideas now. First up, Iron Man. Iron Man was amazing, absolutely loved it. Obviously a 10 out of 10, and this was the first one, so it sort of details how he became Iron Man. Number 15 is The Incredible Hulk, which I also give a 10 out of 10. However, I did like Iron Man better, and same as Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk details how he became the Hulk. Number 16 is Iron Man 2, which I also give a 10 out of 10. I did like the original Iron Man better, but this one had a more traditional superhero plot, meaning that in the beginning you're presented with the bad guy and the problem, and throughout the movie the good guy is making progress on the bad guy and solving the problems along the way, so definitely more of a traditional plot. Number 17 is The Incredible Now, which surprisingly I give a 10 out of 10. This is definitely in the romance genre, which I normally like them decently up until the ending, but the thing that I really liked about this movie was, one, it did not have a cheesy ending, and two, it talked about more meaningful things. Like, it wasn't just a frivolous movie. They definitely talked about deep subject matter in it, and it definitely had substance to it, which is something that I really admire because you don't really see that very much in the romance genre. Normally I just find them to be fluffy and pointless. The last movie to round out today's video is going to be Thor, which of course I give a 10 out of 10 because I love Marvel. And surprisingly, Thor, the first one, details how Thor becomes Thor. Who would have thought that? I absolutely loved Thor Ragnarok when I saw it in theaters, and I've been wanting to watch the original Thor for a while, so I'm glad that I was finally able to get that one checked off my list, and it's definitely worth the watch, and out of the movies on the list, it was definitely my favorite one to watch. If you liked today's video where I was reviewing 18 more movies I've watched in quarantine, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you want me to keep making these. Even if you don't want me to keep making them, I probably will because I really enjoy this. And be sure that you're subscribed and have the bell turned on so you can be part of the hashtag M&M Squad. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast.
It's not about personality matrixels and charts. It's all about the bumps in your heart.